The ironic thing about the story was when I was trying to do some research on it, I looked and I was looking for videos and I was like, is this the same story? And I looked up and this thing happened in different years. And I was like, I didn't realize that this dragging of children down school hallways is actually a thing that multiple teachers have been caught on camera doing. How many of y'all knew that? How many of y'all knew that? Because I damn sure didn't. So let's talk about this. And I'm getting this story from click2houston.com. So Texas and Houston specifically is taking another L. Some viewers may find the following content offensive and controversial. The information in this video comes from multiple sources, including court records, official police charges, news web articles, and interviews. This video commentary also contains my personal opinions about the facts of this story. The point is to use this story as a cautionary tale in hopes of preventing tragedies like these to children going forward. Viewer discretion is advised. That is your official disclaimer. And again, thank you to click2houston.com for the news article. But apparently this has happened quite a bit. A former Cy-Fair independent school district teacher has pled guilty to injuring a kindergartner, a kindergarten student. These are small babies, and these people are losing their minds to this extent. Lord have mercy. Pled guilty to injuring a kindergarten student with special needs after reportedly dragging him by his ankle down school hallways. And I want to warn y'all, if you're sensitive about this content, the kid's face is blurred out. The kid is going to survive, obviously. Okay? But just the act of doing this, you watch this woman drag this kid down 2 hallways. Like, it's ridiculous. But I have it on video. If you don't want to watch it, don't watch it. But we will be showing the video here shortly, okay? On September the 6th, a 5-year-old boy enrolled in early childhood special education class was in the school gymnasium when he became upset and left the gym after he opted not to participate in a game other students were playing, charging documents read. Hall reportedly followed the boy and found him lying on the floor, kicking, screaming, and cursing. She grabbed him by the ankles and pulled him on his back down the hallways, plural, multiple hallways. Surveillance video shows Hall dragging the child by the ankles on the tiled and carpet floorings until she reached the life skills classroom, where she was seen knocking on the teacher's door. That teacher came out of her classroom and picked up the child by his underarm area. Records show that the 5-year-old boy was seen by a school nurse the same day he was dragged. The nurse documented abrasion injuries to his bottom left shoulder blade area were consistent with carpet burns. The boy was later seen by medical personnel at Memorial Hermann Katy Hospital, who also documented the injuries as carpet burns that hurt to the touch. The child's mother, by the name of Nicole Graves, also employed as a 3rd grade math teacher at Tips Elementary, said when she picked up her son from school, he told her not to touch his back because the teacher broke his back. Broke his back. When she asked what happened, he told her, the teacher grabbed my foot. Y'all are going to watch the video. If you don't want to watch it, make sure you exit the channel, okay? Graves said she didn't understand until she watched the surveillance video. I'm right there in the building and not protecting him from something like this, she said. So I think she worked at the same school. On September 13th, Hall met with investigators at Cy-Fair Police Department. She reportedly told them that she was not Crisis Prevention Institute, or CPI, trained on how to appropriately address situations that call for physical contact with a student and was looking for someone CPI trained to assist her. So she dragged this child around the school to look for help. Ma'am, that makes no sense. On August the 2nd, Hall pled guilty to injury to a child, a third-degree felony, and waived the right of a trial by jury. The prosecutor will recommend her punishment. So how much time do y'all think she needs in jail? I don't think she needs much time in jail. This is probably one of those times where I'd say maybe probation would make sense. Anger management, and definitely training. And I don't think this is a thing where she needs to ever not be around children again. I just think that she needs a ton of training, and this needs to be well documented so she doesn't do this again. That's my opinion, but I want to know what y'all think, okay? Graves says she's just now speaking to KPRC2 reporter Rilwin Balugan. What kind of name is that? About the incident to help parents be more aware of what's happening at the school. We could skip that part. The mother was speaking about what happened. We can skip that. According to Graves, the child was restrained at least 40 times and even witnessed one of the incidents in December of 2022, which involved the assistant principal. She said her son was on the floor kicking and his foot made contact with the assistant principal. The assistant principal reportedly grabbed him by his ankles, pulled him towards her, lifted him up, and eventually put her knee on his back, according to Graves, I guess to restrain him. She said her son eventually vomited in the classroom from the incident as she tried to calm him down. In May of 2023, Graves said there was another incident with employees restraining her son, and when she tried to interact and get to him, she said the principal blocked her. During this incident, the district reported that Graves threatened the principal, stating that she pushed and grabbed the principal and told them, "We can fight." Graves denied the allegations. This is a goddamn mess. Oh my goodness. I'm going to skip the rest of that. Y'all can go look it up on click2houston.com. It's stupid. Let me give you guys the fair use. Federal law allows citizens to reproduce, distribute, or exhibit portions of copyrighted motion pictures, videotapes, or video discs under certain circumstances without the authorization of the copyright holder. This is called fair use. It is allowed for purposes of criticism, news reporting, teaching, and parody, which doesn't infringe of copyright under 17 U.S.C. 107. I'll give my closing thoughts here in a minute, but let me know what you guys think. Hit that thumbs up, share this video. Now, again, you're going to watch this woman drag this child down a couple of hallways. You're going to see it. Child's face is going to be blocked out or blurred out. But if you don't want to watch that, exit the video now. That is your warning. No need to flag. No need to put it on restriction. It's all good. Here we go. Let's get it. That is a lot of dragging. And then more dragging. Now watch this. Ooh. That is a long time of dragging. I would have thought this is the never-ending story because that is a lot of dragging right there.
A former City Cyfair ISD teacher believes she was let go from the district after preventing her son from being restrained. Now, we first showed you the video at 5 o'clock, a teacher's aide dragging a student through the halls. KPRC2's Rilwan Balogan live near that school, sharing how the mom lost her job. Rilwan?
Y'all might not remember the never-ending story, but yeah, there's a big old dragon in that story.
Now, Daniela, for a moment here, I want to have some full transparency. I tried doing this story last year when Ms. Graves first reached out to me about this. However, we didn't move forward because she was worried about losing her job here at Tibbs Elementary where this incident unfolded. Now, she's no longer with the district and ready to talk.
I just feel like I need to speak up for not only my son, not only myself, but for other parents who may be struggling with what to do.
Nicole Graves said she wasn't far away from her son when he was being dragged through the hallway. She was in class teaching. Since this incident, she became more observant of how others engage with her son, including the principal. In this video, Graves, who is in the mask, can be seen trying to get to her son. Documents Graves shared with KPRC shows her apparently telling the principal, quotes, "We can fight in this hallway." Did you say those words, "We can fight in this hallway"?
No, I did not say that.
Where are those coming
I did
from?
say that's coming from, I sent you the video of when he was trying to get to my classroom. I was walking back and forth and the principal was blocking me from access to him. And I said, I will fight if I have to.
I absolutely believe this mother is lying. I'm going to just put that out there. I think she's lying. Like the Cowardly Lion. I think she's lying. I'm going to play this again. I think that what she's telling is an absolute lie. I think she was in the moment. She was mad and she talked about fighting. Because it seems like her behavior is indicative of how her son behaves, and he just acts out because he is emulating his mother, right? So you would think that if they are violent with her son, and I'm not excusing it because they can't be violent with her son, but because he's being violent because he's behaving like his mother, like a bad little kid. And I don't like to call kids bad. I just think we need to train children better, to behave better, and we have to be better examples for our children. But I want y'all to hear this again. She said, no, I did not say that. When I read this, I was like, yes, she did. Yes, she did. She did say that. That's what I believe.
Those words, "We can fight in this hallway"?
No, I did not.
So let me back this up like a U-Haul truck, and I want y'all to hear her lie about this. So she's getting in this altercation, verbal, physical altercation right here. And she said, I didn't say we can fight right here. I believe she did.
In the mask can be seen trying to get to her son. Documents Graves shared with KPRC shows her apparently telling the principal, quotes, "We can fight in this hallway." Did you say those words, "We can fight in this hallway"?
No, I did not say that.
Where are those coming
I did
from?
say that's coming from, I sent you the video of when he was trying to get to my classroom. I was walking back and forth and the principal was blocking me from access to him. And I said, I will fight if I have to. Meaning I will fight to get to him if you don't allow me to get to him. But I eventually found a way to get to him. I take accountability because with the directive I did not follow because of what took place with my son. I think that I was treated unfairly.
Now, the district didn't specifically address the two videos that we've reported on today, but shared that Graves resigned from the district in December. However, Graves shared with us a letter that she received from the board in December telling her that her job at the school district was effectively effectively immediately. Now, you can read a copy of that letter on our website at clicktohouston.com.
Hey, we want you to look at your screen right now. At this video, only on 2, what you're seeing here is a 5-year-old boy literally being dragged down a hallway inside Cy-Fair ISD's Tips Elementary School. The boy's mother was a teacher at this same school, but did not learn the severity of this incident for weeks. The boy's mother is joining me now live to talk more about this incident. Nicole Graves, thanks so much for coming on this morning, Nicole.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, so we want to sort of get to the bottom of it. You can explain all of these events, but we're looking at charging documents from the court that show that your son was dragged about 143 feet. And you can see that that person, I believe a teacher, is dragging him by an ankle. Can you talk about?
I mean, at some point, if they continue to keep having these physical incidents with your kid, don't you think that maybe this school is not the place for your kid? Maybe you need to homeschool them, get them someplace else, do something else as a parent. Like, where is his dad at? Is she involved with the dad? I can only assume that it just looked like the mom has a bad attitude herself. I could be wrong about that, but I don't think I'm wrong about that. I think she's got a bad attitude just in her demeanor, even that cold, blank stare in her face right there. I think she's got a bad attitude, right? And I think that her son needs to be in her class or be homeschooled or something. Something's got to be done, especially if everybody got to be physical with her child.
Did your son have any injuries from that incident?
Yes, he had a carpet burn on his back. I believe it was from the impact of being dragged on the carpet, even though he was also dragged on tile.
Yeah, so I'm sorry, I say teacher, but it was a paraprofessional, to use specific terms, who works at that school, who assists in special needs classes. So that person has now been charged with injury to a child. But tell us how the school initially handled this situation, and police actually did get involved?
Yes, I was called into a meeting the day of the incident and told that he was mishandled. I didn't know specific details about how. When I saw him, he had an ice pack.
I would have to believe, based on what you just said, you said that's the reason why you took your special needs child out of school. I could have swore that's actually what I said. I said maybe this woman needs to take her child out of this school because everybody seems to feel the need to get physical. So maybe this is not the place to be, to have this child. Maybe he needs to be in your class, in your care, in your home, homeschool this child. Is that not what I said? Just because I have or don't have a special needs child, that doesn't invalidate what I just said. Yes, I'm attacking the mom. That's because I believe that her behavior is indicative of how the child is behaving. Special needs, autism doesn't automatically mean that the children are going to behave. And actually, I am very familiar with autism, by the way, just so you know. I support plenty of autism awareness events each year, right? Been around autism children. And I've also counseled children. So please understand, before you make a definitive statement, just know that your boy knows what he's talking about, okay? All right? And I'll say this again. If all of these people who engage this child feel the need to be physical with this child because the child is being aggressive, then this is probably not the proper place for this child to be. It should probably always be in the care of his mother. And I believe that the mother is probably a bad behaving person because she, on camera, was getting to an altercation with another person at the school in the hallway on camera. And she said something about fighting. That sounds like a bad behaving person. So what I draw on their behavior based on what I saw on video and what she even confirmed in her own words, I believe I would be correct in what I just said. So that's what I'm saying, man. If you're going to dispute what I say, you have to dispute it on the facts, not just in your feelings and not just because it affects you personally. That's what we do here, and I've been doing this for a long time, and I don't just make blanket statements for no reason. So just think about that. That's why in order to really engage these stories, we have to step outside of our feelings and our personal situations to understand the bigger picture.
On his lower back. So, of course, I looked at his lower back and I didn't see anything. I didn't realize that it was his upper back until we got home and I actually, was able to fully examine his body.
And so they called you in to share that with you because anytime your child is injured at school, right? I mean, they're supposed to notify you. Is that why they were telling you this? Okay. And then, and so obviously as a mom, you probably had lots of questions. At what point did police get involved?
They were involved right away, actually. They did handle it swiftly. I got to speak with a detective of Cy-Fair Police Department. They did their investigation, and from there, it was forwarded to the DA's office.
Wow. And so now we're learning, you've told us that there were other incidents where your son was restrained, and you've shared with KPRC that one incident led to actually you losing your job because you worked there at the same elementary school.
Look, I just think we're going to have to disagree on that point. You think that she was protecting her child. I just think that's a point where we might have to disagree. I don't think this is protecting your child. I believe that she's known of this issue with her son's behavior for a long time. And she just thinks that everybody who her child is around is supposed to just deal with it and figure it out when the majority of these people are not trained to deal with this properly. Even in the article that I read, y'all can go back and read the article. I gave my source link, and I specifically said that the teacher who dragged this child through 2 different hallways on camera said she was looking for somebody who was trained to know how to deal with this. Did I not say that? That means that the teacher who dragged the child didn't know how to deal with him and did not have proper training. Therefore, he's in the wrong situation. Wrong situation, wrong teacher, wrong class.
Can you share more of those details?
The number of restraints I initially told was 21. It was actually almost or over 40. Sorry.
That's okay. And Nicole, just to kind of to put this into perspective, and I know this is difficult for you, for families who may not have children working with paraprofessionals in public schools or in any setting where you're not always there to know what's going on, talking about those restraints, I mean, that's something that is not supposed to happen at all?
No, it's not a part of his behavior plan, and in my opinion, excessive. So when this May 12th incident that you're referring to took place, I was trying to avoid another restraint because she had called for more help. And, you know, I'm right there, like my classroom was 20 feet away. So I was trying to avoid him getting restrained again and just de-escalate so I could send him back to class. And as you can see from the video, she was blocking my...
Oh, my Lord. Look. And this is why I have trouble talking about these stories, because I have to be honest. I don't know if any of y'all have ever been in a classroom. I have. My mother taught for 42 years of her life. I've been in plenty of classrooms. I've done substitute teaching. I've done counseling. I've been around anything and everything. I've been around the best and the worst of babies, okay? And I'm trying to tell y'all what I know. In this situation, in my humble opinion, it seems that the mother wanted other people to basically deal with her son and give her some relief. That's what it sounds like to me, because it seems that he is not able to function. He is not able to function in these normal class environments. And I'm not saying that he has any control over that. But if you recognize an issue and you diagnose an issue and you realize, hey, he can't be in a regular classroom because of such and such and such and such, he has a tendency to be physical and we cannot engage him in a physical way, then why would we continue to keep putting him in here? We're going to talk to him and then just throw him back in there. That's not the solution. Because if you notice, they don't just force him to stay in his mother's classroom all the time while she's there. More than likely because she sees him at home all the time and she needs some relief, and the school, being her at work, is her form of relief. You don't hear about no father being around. Most of these situations, these mothers don't have a husband around to help offset this responsibility, which is why I believe that we should have more nuclear families rather than just producing kids just because you want us to have a kid, y'all. Right? Just because you wanted to have a kid don't mean that's the best choice, especially when you don't have stability. Stability is where we continue to fail, and it's pretty easy to see, especially when you have disciplinary issues. I'm telling you what I know, and I've seen children from all across the country, from more states than I could even name in a couple of minutes. In these environments where these children by the dozens are thrust upon us and they just tell us as counselors to figure it out. And we had to figure it out and not be physical with these kids. And it is a challenging situation to have to deal with. You do it because you have love for children. You want to see them get better. You want to show them structure and maybe bring them a light that maybe they don't have in their life at home. Right? So I've lived that. I just think it's very difficult for anybody to tell me something that they haven't lived through. Right? I'm open-minded. I'm definitely open-minded, but that's what I believe is going on here. I think that she has so much to deal with that work has almost kind of become her relief. And she's not able to get that relief because they calling her like, hey, your son is over here having an incident, and then she has to run out of class and go deal with it. The same stuff that she has to deal with at home. There has to be a better place for him to be educated if that's what they're hoping to do. Because from what it seems in this situation, it seems that this boy isn't learning anything in school because he's more of a disturbance. And with these disturbances happening, what is he learning? He's not learning anything.
Contact with him.
That is what we're seeing in that video. We do see you come into the view.
Just think about what I'm saying. I'm saying you should not have to get physical with children. And if they are being physical, then there has to be a better environment for them to be in, and especially someone who's trained to deal with that.
I mean, and Nicole, you worked there and taught there. And like you said, you were 20 feet away and didn't know. You said about all of the incidents of restraint.
If the square, look, this is basically what I'm saying to the chat, because I love y'all and I hope y'all keep an open mind. What I'm saying is if the square peg does not fit in the round hole, you do not force it to go through the round hole. Right?
Can't even imagine what it must be like for families who may hear this who have no idea what's happening when their child is at school. The police got.
Keep in mind, what I was suggesting is homeschool. If there's not a better facility or a specialized place that knows how to deal with this, homeschool is school, and that might be something she needs to consider, because that might be better than leaving this square peg and forcing it in a round hole. Because these teachers clearly are getting physical, and that you can't have, and that is a crime. The way that that teacher dragged that boy through them halls is a crime, and she's going to have to pay for that.
Involved. Where does this case stand?
I've been terminated from the school district, and he's now currently at another school where his behavior plan is being followed very effectively. He actually loves going to school now, whereas last school year it was a fight every morning, from being restrained literally daily.
Listen to what the mom just said. Is that not what I said? He needs to be in a place that's better suited. And what does she do? Put him in a place that's better suited. What was her report? He's doing better. Funny how that works.
It's so much better now, and I'm just glad that he's in a better place, because that was my biggest concern, just making sure that he recovered from all of this and to help him understand that what he went through is not normal.
Yeah. What did you do at Tips Elementary? Were you a teacher, paraprofessional, or what was your position?
I was a fourth grade teacher. I've been a teacher in Cyfair for 10 years, but I've taught a total of 17 years. And my termination, it was challenging because I have no other history of any wrongdoing. The colleagues that I work with, the parents that I've supported, and the students that I've worked with, all have great things to say.
And what did Cy-Fair ISD say about your termination? I believe we did have a statement from Cy-Fair that, just telling our producers, it looks like it is not in the script right now, but I do remember reading that before we came out. What did they tell you about your termination, why you were terminated?
Because of my constant not following of directives involving my son.
Got it.
And also, there were times that, sorry, I would be late to school, but I'd be late because I was dealing with my son, having to encourage him to be at school and know that it's a happy place and help him understand that what he was going through is not actually how it is, even though it's what he went through, sometimes multiple times a day.
Yeah, well, Nicole, I am glad that your son is now in a different place, hopefully where he enjoys going to school every day. I appreciate you sharing your story with us, and want to make sure that at some point in this show we'll give you that statement from Cy-Fair ISD and what they say. We know a lot of these cases, they say there's so much they can't say because of privacy laws and rules. But thank you so much for coming on and sharing your story.
Just thank you all for having me. And for parents that may be in a similar situation, please don't be afraid to speak up and be an advocate for your children. Unfortunately, there are things like this that happen in schools that districts try and hide from the media. But if your child is telling you that something is happening to them at school, believe them, even no matter how bizarre it sounds. Just know that they're telling the truth and support and speak until somebody listens.
And that's where I got to pause it. So I'm going to assume, based on what she just said, this isn't the first, second, third, or fourth incident. This has probably happened multiple times where this baby boy has probably acted out, and they probably have had to do some level of physical discipline with him to restrain him or something. And from the first incident, not the second, third, or fourth, or even the video that you guys just saw, it would have been the first and only time that happened, and my son would not have been going to school there. My child would have not been going to school there. We would have figured out something and not just keep giving chance after chance after chance, because, see, that's what I'm talking about. Seeing a problem, ignoring the yellow and red flags, next thing you know, a child is being physically assaulted or murdered or worse. And that's part of what we have to do better as parents if we're really going to truly be advocates. From the moment that you see something happen, we have to stop it right then and there and get a solution, a great solution. That's something you got to take a little bit of time to do, but I think that we can do all better on that, okay? But boy, I think it's going to be all right. Mom say he's doing better in the school that he's at. Pretty sure mom won't have an issue finding another school or school district to work at. Everything I think will be fine in this situation. But I wanted to call this out because I had a lot of things on my mind. And this, what she did, you can't excuse that. There ain't no excuse for that. She was just beside herself and decided, you know what, I'm going to just be overly physical to this kid that can't do nothing about it. So here is the big caveat. If that little boy was 13, 15, 16 years old, you think that woman would have been able to drag him through the hallways like that? Hell no. He probably would have whooped her behind. So that's what I'm saying. And that makes us look like bullies when you do stuff like this. Because if you wouldn't do it to a person that's much bigger than you or equal your size, then why would you do it to somebody that's half your size? And that's what I'm talking about when it comes to parenting and teaching, and we got to do better. And that's where the advocacy is. I think that's what the AFC stands for. We got to do better by kids. Okay? Let me know what you guys think. I know it's a tough conversation, but we have to have the dialogue. All right? Let's get it. Thank you guys. Leave a comment, please.